Over the past 25 years in my sex therapy practice, I've had more men come to me suffering from erectile dysfunction or erection problems than any other sexual problem. They complain of having lost their erection and lost their confidence. They suffer because they've had humiliating experiences. They've lost their marriage or their relationship, or they've not dared to start making another intimate relationship because they just can't face the humiliation of going into a sexual relationship and once again not being able to get an erection or losing their erection. So this video is designed to help men and partners of men who are suffering from ED, erectile dysfunction. I'm going to give 7 things not to do if you have erection problems, and then we'll finish the video with 7 things to do if you suffer from erection problems. So here we go. Number 1, don't ignore it. Erection problems won't solve themselves, I'm afraid. The problem won't simply go away. You see, the problem that you really feel when you're suffering from ED is one of isolation. You know there's a problem, and it appears nobody else does. And if they did, would they even understand? Even well-meaning partners will say to their partner or their lover or their spouse, it doesn't matter. But the truth is, it does matter. It matters to you, doesn't it? And if your partner says it doesn't matter, then it further isolates you. So, number 1 in the list of things not to do, don't ignore it, and don't settle for your partner ignoring it. Number 2, be cautious at least, if not avoid at first going to your medical doctor. The first person to go to if you're suffering from erection problems would be somebody who is trained in psychosexuality. So go to a sex therapist or go to a psychosexual counsellor. Medical doctors are great and helpful, but they're trained through one discipline only, and that is through medical science, medication. Therefore, doctors will automatically prescribe you with Viagra, Cialis, or one of the family of erection medications. Nothing wrong with that in and of itself, but it's not going to solve the actual problem that is causing the erection difficulty. So, depends very much how well you know your doctor, but the doctor is not necessarily the first port of call. Go to a sex therapist or go to a trained psychosexual counsellor first. Number 3 on the list of things not to do, don't start Googling erectile dysfunction. You're going to get hit with a lot of scary stuff, a lot of statistics and how terrible the problem is, and you're going to be tempted to go down the route of fake Viagra. Don't just desperately go online and start looking for information or solutions. Rhino horn and the bark of African trees as aphrodisiacs. No, this is not the route to take. You need a methodical and a scientific approach to solving erection problems. 4, don't analyze yourself too much. What is really going on when someone is suffering from what we call psychogenic ED, psychogenic erectile dysfunction, is that in the subconscious mind, you hold a belief that there is something wrong with you, that something is broken, that something has got to be fixed. Now, what if there were nothing wrong with you, but that circumstances or conditioning has caused you to have negative thoughts and negative feelings that then send a negative signal through the autonomic nervous system that controls erection and ejaculation? So too much introspection of the wrong kind can only make the problem in the subconscious mind even worse. So we need to help you to become solution focused, not problem focused. Number 5 on the list of things not to do if you suffer from erection problems. If you're having sex or being intimate and you lose your erection, or your erection doesn't immediately come, don't give up. Don't get passive. At the first sign of your penis not becoming hard, don't abandon intimacy and lovemaking. Too many men, when they feel their erection going, either start sulking or getting angry or being filled with self-condemnation or blaming their partner. All of these things will mean that that intimacy connection is lost. It's the end. No, it's not. Just because an erection will wax and wane, it will come and go, like the tides on an ocean coming in and going out. It doesn't mean that if your erection wanes or the tide goes out for a while, it doesn't mean that the intimacy is finished for the night. Stay connected. Relax. Go back to being intimate. The erection can return. 6. Don't masturbate too much in order to prove that there's nothing wrong with your penis. And even worse, if you do, or if you're having intimacy or sex regularly, don't ejaculate every time that you masturbate or have sex. When you ejaculate, you lose an enormous amount of energy. And the sexual arousal cycle goes up and down like a roller coaster if you keep getting excitement and then ejaculation, excitement and ejaculation. There is a way of conserving the arousal, conserving the energy, and not depleting it through constant ejaculation. We'll cover the advanced practice of the conservation of sexual energy and discovering orgasm without necessarily ejaculating in other videos. But for now, let's put that as number 6 on our list of things not to do. Don't ejaculate too regularly or constantly if you're suffering from erection problems. Number 7, what not to do. Don't, in your desperation and vulnerability, have an affair. So many men, when they are suffering from erection problems and their sex life in their relationship is diminishing, will feel that their wife or partner doesn't understand them. They feel isolated. And if you feel isolated and vulnerable and you think your partner doesn't care or understand, then you are vulnerable to the perception that somebody else does understand and care. And the ego of somebody else may even feel, I can help you. That's a very dangerous and difficult position to be in. Number 7 on our list, don't have an affair simply to try to prove that you can still have sex. So let's summarize those 7 things. If you're suffering from erection problems, don't ignore it. Be cautious of going to the medical doctor first. Don't go online for fake Viagras. Don't become too introspective. Don't give up. Don't ejaculate too often, and don't have an affair in order to prove you're still a man. Okay? Now, as I promised, 7 things to do. You have an erection problem. So what can be done to turn this around? First, having gone to a sex therapist or psychosexual counsellor, if they recommend to you to go and check things out with the doctor, then make sure that you ask the doctor for a complete impotence profile of blood tests. Don't let the doctor just guess, is there something wrong or not from a medical point of view. You need a full range of blood tests. Check the cholesterol, check the testosterone profile, check the sex hormone binding globulin, check the PSA, the prostate. Have a complete range of blood tests that will either pinpoint a problem or eliminate the problems, the possibility of it being a physical problem. It's not sufficient just to sit in front of a doctor and for him to prescribe you Viagra. Second, what can you do? In your relationship, examine not only how frequently you're having sex, but the type of sex that you're having. There are different types of sex. We describe the main 3 types of sex as outside in, simple sex, and inside out sex. Now, outside in sex assumes that sexual arousal comes from outside yourself and somehow stimulates the sexual body and the feelings within. Because as men, we train ourselves for outside in sex from the time we first start masturbating as an adolescent. It's fine for the adolescent period, but we are not designed as human beings for outside in sex, and at some stage the body will let you down if you depend on outside external stimulation only. The source of your sexual arousal and control come from inside yourself. So outside in sex is very unreliable. Simple sex, or marital sex if you like, is very good for procreation and very good for building a relationship, but it's very difficult to sustain in the long term. The third type of sex, inside out sex, starts with your own sense of self-awareness about what's going on within yourself. Inside out sex is never the same twice. It is always new and fresh. Number 3 on our list of things to do. Learn the importance of the way in which you breathe. Your breath controls the energy within the body, and your sex center, your penis, it needs the right kind of energy, and the right kind of breathing will keep your hormones balanced. Too much adrenaline, and that will be an antidote to your erection. It will be a contending against the hormones that help you to get an erection. And it's the way you breathe that controls the amount of adrenaline. And then there are other ways to breathe that can actually heat the sexual arousal up. So learn the importance of breath within the body. 4, communication. You're going to need great courage if you're in a a regular committed relationship, you're going to need great courage to communicate to your partner properly if you start to get erection problems. It's not complaining and moaning and being self-critical that is going to solve anything. It's discussing openly with your partner about sex, about your feelings, and about your fantasies, and discovering what really helps the two of you to keep sex fresh, keep it alive, and keep it moving. 5. Learn how to touch for your own pleasure. Learn how to be selfish, if you like. Not self-centered in sex, but discover how to touch and make love for your own pleasure rather than trying to please your partner all the time. Because if you try to please your partner all the time, your mind will probably be filled with questions. Am I getting it right? Am I doing it right? No, your mind needs to be absorbed within so that you get filled up with pleasure and your partner gets the overflow. Just like if you had a coffee pot, took the lid off and kept pouring water in it, then the water would overflow out through the spout and your partner would get wet with it. And that's the principle of learning to be selfish, if you like, in intimacy and sex. 6. I tell men, don't have a penis, become a penis. Don't become dependent upon that, just purely that organ that we call the penis. Spread your awareness, spread the arousal and energy in the whole body through the right kind of self-pleasuring and breathing, and you'll discover that you are not trapped in the sex center, but your whole body becomes erogenous. Don't have a penis, become a penis. 7. Discover the stages of an erection. An erection isn't either not there or there. Just like a building, you need to understand how to lay the foundation, build the walls, put in the top floor and the windows, and then finally put the roof on. Now the building is erect. So what are the stages of an erection? Well, we know when it's flaccid, but what comes next? It starts to stiffen. That is blood filling the penis because the smooth muscle is relaxing. But it's not an erection. Don't try having intercourse with only a stiff penis. The second stage is hardening. This is when the nervous system traps the blood in the penile area. So now it becomes hard. Third stage, there's more blood in the penis through the arteries than has escaped through the small veins. So now the blood in the penis is hot. What's the fourth stage of an erection? It's therefore hot, hard, and enlarged. That's a full erection. Hot, hard, and enlarged. You won't lose that erection. Why? Because you have become a penis. Your mind is hot, hard, and enlarged, and the erection is not going to go away. So I hope you found this video helpful. I'm David Brown. Feel free to subscribe to my channel, and please share this video. You never know who really needs help.